Okay. Hi guys, Van Dreisch here. Trying out the YouTube live thing for the first time. See if it's a good fit. So, I am, excuse me, making some spoon blanks. So for those of you who don't know me from Instagram, this is meant to be interactive, not so much me talking with no questions. Of course, since nobody knows I'm here, it's just going to be me yammering on about making spoon blanks. So, I sell spoon blanks to people who need wood for spoon carving, but who don't live near an area where they could get that for themselves. So that's what you're seeing me do here. I do two types of blanks. Raw blanks look like, that's a great example. Here we go. Raw blanks look like this. They've got the crank already chopped into them, but and the shape, but then there's still axe work to be done to really pull the handle in, round around the bowl, that whole thing. I also do blanks that are ready to go so that there's no more axe work needed. But I find that a lot of times people want to do the axe work themselves. They just don't have access to the wood. I have access to a lot of wood. If you're interested in ordering some blanks for yourself, go check out my website, emmettvandreisch.com. Same as my name, which is this YouTube channel. And if you go to the shop page, there's information there on reaching out to me and ordering. So, once I've chopped in the crank on the upper face, this is going to be the top of the spoon. And then I take a pen or a Sharpie. In this case, it's going to be a Sharpie because the wood is a little bit wet and a ballpoint pen would stop working. So I use a Sharpie, draw the shape of the bowl that I want. Usually an egg-shaped bowl is a good bet if you're not sure what shape bowl to draw. Then I divide it in half with the line, and then I continue the line down the handle, trying to line it up with the grain if I can. And then, once I have that center line to my handle, I can roughly draw in the size of the spoon. Now, whoever gets this blank is probably going to come up with their own thing, or they might just copy this. Either way, I want to give them a good choice, but it's quite clearly something where they can do their own thing with it. Now, I use the club here. You can see how it's made out of a spot where 3 branches went off, and that way, even as it's starting to split away, it's resisting cracking. And now I have a spoon blank where the front and the back are roughly matching. The raw spoon blanks don't always have the back trimmed down this far, but this one's easy to do, so I'll do it. And then I'll trim it to length. And then that one's done. I sell these blanks for $3 each, and I can do any shape: cooking spoons, eating spoons, spatulas, scoops, spreaders. I'm happy to do any of the shapes that I normally carve. just let me know. And often what people find the most economical is to just order a flat rate box of them. I can usually fit 12 to 15 in a box. And that's certainly, you know, the most economical way to ship this amount of wood around the US. Here I'm just trimming away the bark. And doing a little trimming on this side. Just because if I do this a little bit, each one, there's more room in the box. Fit another blank perhaps for you. There you have it. So, put it along with the others under the shirts there that are keeping everything from drying out. And then I grab the next piece of wood. You see how this wood has a natural curve to it. So I'm taking advantage of that natural curve and doing spoons where that curve mirrors the shape of the curve that the spoon is going to have. So you'll also see that every time I'm putting down the axe, I always sink it into the stump so that it's, if I put it down sideways, if I bumped it against it, it could fall into my feet and I could get really hurt that way. So always sink it into the stump if you can. Okay, now this piece of wood has this big bumpy knotty thing here, so it might not be any good. We'll find out real quick. And if it's not worth keeping, we'll move right along because I have plenty of wood. So there's no point in chasing after something that's going to be a headache. Well, we'll see. Yeah, that's going to be a headache, all right. See how there's a knot right there. Now, the knot does come out right there on the edge, so it is possible that I could dive behind that knot, still get a usable spoon blank out of this, so I'll give that a try. But beyond that, it's not really worth investing a lot of time in a blank that looks like it has problems. So, nope, you can see the knot goes clear across the face of this piece of wood. So, the nice thing is that I've only spent a couple minutes, and I know already that that piece of wood is not going to work out, which is great. It means I haven't wasted all of that time. All right, now we'll move on to a nice long piece of cherry here. I like to axe the corner off the ends here that are going to come up against my palm, and that way it doesn't dig into my palm quite as much. You'll notice when I'm doing this axing that I'm staying away from my hand, and that when I'm up here, I'm not raising the axe up above my hand. I'm instead basically just waggling my wrist like this. So, go, waggle, waggle. I don't know if it's true that somebody is indeed watching. I don't know if how this live thing works. On Instagram, you can post comments and things. Feel free to ask any questions. All right, to one side, and I go back. And this cut here, so this one is establishing what is the front of the bowl. This cut here is pretty steep, and all it's doing is keeping these fibers from splitting up the piece of wood. And now, I work my way down the handle to make a slanting face that's highest up towards my hand and lowest down here at the bottom of this V that I'm making. And the reason I'm doing it in kind of 2 chunks is that if I tried to do it all the way from back towards my hand, the force required to peel that wood off would just be so great that it's not worth it. It's worth splitting it up into 2 or even 3 chunks, because that way by the time it gets hard, right there, you're also close right there to popping it free. So just like that. Now I'll do the 3rd one. Okay, so now again, we have our crank right in here, and the angle of the bowl is going to be is different than the angle of the handle is going to be. So the way I make sure of that is the bowl itself, if here's the crank right here, then I make sure right here, then I make sure that the bowl is, at least 2/3 of the bowl is above that line. So in this case, big enough that we can do have a smallish cooking spoon. Very nice. Draw our center line. Very good. Okay. So it's important to not be gripping the wood so tightly that if the axe catches, that it's going to pull it right out of that it can't pull it out of your hands. Because if you're gripping it so tightly that it can't pull it out of their hands, then the axe comes free and now it's above your hand, and the momentum of just the muscle memory of whacking might cause you to bring it down on your hand. So always grip the wood lightly enough that if the axe catches, whoop, it comes right out of your hand. You'll look like an idiot, but you'll still have your hand. So always better to be an idiot with both hands than look cool and only have one hand. That's my motto. Okay. Trim it down. I like to use this little ARS brand pruning saw. Cuts on the pull stroke. Very sharp. And you don't need a super long blade to cut all this wood. You just need a blade that isn't all worn out. And a little bit of patience. Okay, so now I'm just trimming off a little bit of the excess on the sides, but not a lot, because these blanks are supposed to be raw and give people who buy them a chance to work on their axe skills. So that's about as far as I take it, just like that. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll probably be doing more of these. We'll see. This was fun to try it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.